Yeah, I am personally speaking for myself. I'm like disappointed, a little bit upset. Obviously, we got shit on, but I'm not like out of this tournament mentally. I still am very confident if we face. I mean, we'll face most likely Fnatic, the loser of the Gen G Fnatic series. So I'm very confident how well we on how well we can do for them. At least more confident than we'll do better against them versus TES.
Hey guys, this is actually Kang of Horizon Esports. This interview has been brought to you by Republic of Gamers, powered by Jeffers G14, and I am joined by APA, the mid laner of Team Liquid Honda. After they do go 3-0 against Top Esports on the first day of 2024 MSI bracket stage, and soon look forward to play in the lower bracket. So I know that a lot of Team Liquid players have been going on to interviews to say that the scrims have been looking very positive for Team Liquid, perhaps even better than some of the European teams. So I was just wondering what was the expectation that Team Liquid had on themselves in their own performance coming to today's series, and in which way it didn't necessarily meet that expectation.
Mhm. I think to touch on scrims, we actually have been doing quite well in scrims versus pretty much every team but G2. So I think, like personally, I said a little bit earlier, like my expectations, even though it necessarily wasn't to win, it was like to make the games close and to take games off them. Like go down like 2-3 or like even win a game five series. It wasn't to get like to be completely stomped in the fashion we did. So yeah, I'm pretty disappointed with that.
Tell me more about what you mentioned in the beginning, as you kind of felt like Team Liquid was playing a bit scared, if you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, I think not to single out Umpty. This is just the first one that comes to mind because I also played scared in games like my Tristana game. But like in the last game when we were fighting Rift Herald and Impact TP'd in, I think Tien would die if Umpty ultied the Xin Zhao. So like there's like a lot of examples like that where I think we were just like playing too scared. Where if this was either a scrim environment or back in an A, we have not been playing that scared. Yeah, that's not to pick on Umpty at all. Like it's just the most immediate one that comes to mind.
Yeah, it's just an observation. And of course, top esports have been playing on this stage since the play-in stage. So they'll be more used
Mhm.
to performing on this particular stage, right?
But yeah, I think we just played a little bit too cautious because I think our teams are actually very similar in style. To be completely honest, they play like heavily through bot lane. We do the same thing. They're very aggressive on objectives. They play around objectives pretty often. They do a lot of like things similar to we do. So we were like expecting to match that a lot, but I think we just lost out on matching and then played too reserved when we didn't have to.
Can I ask about the game three pick and ban? Because a lot of people were curious about Team Liquid's bot lane choice, which was Jhin and Nami.
It is just something that like we talk about like breaking up combos often all the time. There's like most popular one like Lucian Nami. There's like Toppy Sports played like Maokai Tristana in the past. And there's other combos. So we just always have like conversations about like breaking up combos and then they first pick Lucian. So we wanted to try Nami.
What do you think like the Team Liquid moral is going to be like once you head back into the lobby and in the hotel room? Are you guys still gonna be good?
I'm sure it'll be lower than it was yesterday because yesterday's moral was actually pretty high because we did very well in scrims against an Eastern team. But yeah, I am personally speaking for myself. I'm like disappointed, a little bit upset. Obviously, we got shit on, but I'm not like out of this tournament mentally. I still am very confident if we face. I mean, we'll face most likely Fnatic, the loser of the Gen G Fnatic series. So I'm very confident we'll do better against them versus TES.
Speaking of the future and just trying to look ahead in general, a lot of people are expecting Genji to come out victorious against Fnatic. So let's think about the lower brackets for now. Let's think about a scenario where Fnatic does drop. Are you confident about that? Because now you are in the lower bracket, so there's no extra lives.
As long as it's not Gen G, because I think Gen G's fucking good. I'm pretty confident versus Fnatic. I think they're like a tad bit worse than top esports, and I think if we stop playing such scared gameplay and like play a little bit more like fierce like we do in scrims, I'm confident we can take the series. I do think Fnatic is a good team though, so it's not like I'm overlooking them and just saying we're going to 3-0 stomp them. But I'd be confident with us taking the series.
But people could argue that Fnatic had been able to take one game against TES. Well, unfortunately, it's not the case for Team Liquid.
I think those results don't matter, personally. Well, I think Fnatic did have a better showing for top esports than we did. I think we also played way under our level. So, like, I don't really read into perception all too much. Like, I'm not going to go on Reddit and read all the flaming comments about me being a noob for whatever reason. So, personally, I don't care about what the perception of what other people think. And, like, I'm personally confident going into Fnatic series.
Because I guess my next question was going to be, I know that, people can be very reactive and their opinions very quickly change based on match results, based like every 24 hours. And I guess like the immediate reaction to Team Liquid losing to TES in 3-0 is going to be, wow, NA is bad, like we're so doomed, what's going on, like, blah, 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 blah. But I guess my original question was going to be, what do you want the fans to believe in or expect going into the rest of the tournament? But you already mentioned that you don't necessarily concerned about that too much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too concerned with what the fans think, but like a small message to them would be not to fully lose hope. Obviously, going down 0-3 like that in that fashion is really shit, but the team that I personally see in scrims is not the team that showed up on stage today. So I'm not too worried.
Yeah, because I also had really high expectation because I was talking to Impact yesterday, who said he had a really good gut feeling about Team Liquid and he's very honest about his takes.
Also, if you look at it this way, we got knocked out in the first seed of LCS playoffs. And we
True.
went all through the lower bracket.
And also you're gonna go to the upper bracket and beat TES again? Just like you did for Void Quest?
If we can face them again and have a rematch later on in the tournament, that'd be great.
You already gave a message to the fans, but is there anyone else that you want to send a message to? Could be to your family, could be to your teammates, or could even be to yourself in 3 days.
I think a message to myself would actually be good. I think in 3 days, whenever to whichever team we face against, as long as we're willing to play how we do in scrims, I'm very confident, first, to be honest, either team, that we can beat them. So just be willing to play more aggressive.
Is NA better than EU?
Of course.
Thank you so much, APA. Sorry about the technical issues. I was a bit out of it because of that, but really appreciate it, and best of luck for the rest of the MSI.
No problem. Thank you.